You guys are having a good day. Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World Business School, and I want to say what's up to everybody on the channel. I'm gonna give you guys time to come into the platform. What's happening? God is my hero. First Work Media, Maurice Parker. What's happening? I see you guys on Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. If you want to follow me on the gram. Good morning. Good morning. It's kind of early. It's about 9:41 Eastern time. So I don't know if you guys consider that early or late. Some of y'all coming in from overseas, so it might be the middle of the night for some of y'all. Hello, Ramona Blake and Sean and Fiber Lashfiba, Lioness Crown, Jade Arundel, smart black woman, very, very smart sister, Fly Nubian Queen. I saw Jade in New York, and some of y'all were in New York. I don't know if any of y'all were in New York, but if you weren't there, you missed something that was amazing. It was totally packed, and we had a great time. We did a really great investment seminar, and everybody, if you don't feel that you gained a tremendous amount of value from that experience, then just let us know. We're going to do it better next time. We're going to do so many of these events all around the country, and I was really happy because I got a chance to see you in person, give you guys hugs up close, and hang out with you. So if you live in the Chicagoland area, we're doing a space November 9th. I like spades, and I assume some of y'all might like spades. So if you want to come hang out, come on down. You can go to drboycechicago.com. That's drboycechicago.com if you want to sign up. All right, so let's see here. The Washington Nationals winning the World Series just sped up gentrification by 10 years. Yeah, you might be right, Jade. I don't really follow baseball. I'm more of a basketball football guy, but I did hear about the Nationals. I don't know much about it. Let me see here. Dr. B just signed a contract into 2020. The Black Experts Empire program rocks, says Ramona Blake. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, if you guys haven't tried out the Black Business School, I don't know, when you're doing something impactful, a lot of people have a lot to say about things, and so what I encourage you to do is if you hear anything about the Black Business School, I hope you'll come take a look. You can actually get started for free. It don't cost you a nickel. As a black person or any person, you ain't got to be black. We don't discriminate. We just, as long as you know that blackness is first and black people are running this thing and this is our institution and we exist for the benefit of our community and you want to be a part of that, then sure, we welcome you. We welcome you to be a part of it because we actually teach things that are cutting edge. We're not trying to catch up with what white people are doing. We are ahead of what white people are doing. Most universities don't advocate for their students' children to go to business school at the age of 7. We got children going to business school at the age of 7 in the Black Business School. So if you want to get your family ahead of the curve, go check it out. It's theblackbusinessschool.com, THE, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. And we have people right there on the line that can talk to you right now. Even if you ain't spent no money yet, you can invest if you want to, and most of our programs cost you less on a daily basis than a Popeye's chicken sandwich. So the black people that can afford a Popeye's chicken sandwich, that means you can't afford to get a high quality education. But so don't act like money's an obstacle, because if I see you can't eat that chicken sandwich telling me that you broke, I'm gonna question that. I'm gonna question that assumption. So anyway, let me see here. Let's see. Stoney says you have some silly ass admins, boy. So you're talking about admins that are in my channel? Well, if you see any admins or anybody that is a moderator on the channel that is acting a fool, just let me know. Send me a note. And most of my admins, I actually kind of watch the admins. The only one I see in there actually is Ramona Blake and M Powell and DJ Dark Shades. I appreciate all of y'all, and they do a good job. So if I have any minds to act a fool, let me know. They are diligent though. They're diligent because we live in a protected space. We operate in a space where we're in a space for intelligent black people that want to work together, that want to overcome our challenges, that want to break cycles, that want to kill negativity, that want to actually find ways for black people to love each other and work together. And so when you get that negativity in the building, y'all know I'm talking about that negativity, like that special twist of negativity that comes up from some of our people that have unchecked mental health issues, things like that. I don't want no parts of that. I told y'all, and I even will confess, like as a black person, I grew up in the middle of all that trauma. I grew up in the bullshit. If you're black and you grew up in the middle of bullshit, raise your hand. Say something in the chat. Say me. Let's do a quick confession. I want you to give me a confession. If you black and you grew up in the middle of some bullshit and you found yourself sometimes getting tangled in the bullshit, raise your hand. Say something. If you're on Instagram, just put a little thumbs up in the chat or something. Me, there we go. Okay, wake up, Johnny Osuji, is that right? Karen Perry. Yeah. I mean, we're all a part of that, man. Like we all grow up in that whole like I'll go confront the shit out of another black person, but I ain't gonna say nothing to white people because I'm scared of them, right? You know, it's no different from like when you had gangbangers that'll go and shoot up a whole black family, but can't go out and defend your community, can't go out across town, you know, to Beverly Hills where they really robbing you, where they're really exploiting you, where they did evict your grandmama and go handle business across town. You handling business across the street, right? You know, and that mindset, it comes from slavery. It's something that all of us were infected with. I've been infected with negativity. I'm a recovering niggaholic. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a recovering niggaholic. And like they say with recovery, you're always an addict, right? You're always an addict, and you can always relapse. You can always go back into remission. You can always fall off the wagon. So if you're going to do your best, take it day by day. And if your plan is to not fall off the wagon, then just make that commitment now. I'm going to do my best today to not fall off the wagon, because the negativity will test you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all got negativity in some of your families. Like, it will test you every day. And today's topic, Ty, it has to do with negativity and dealing with negative people, not negative people, negative people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I have become a master at this, or not a master. I'm getting much better at this. I've actually studied this. You know, y'all don't know this, but I actually have a leadership coach. Her name is Nicole Price. And Nicole, I will call Nicole like the same way you call your therapist, or the same way an alcoholic calls their sponsor. And I'll be like, Nicole, I'm in the middle of some chaos right now. I'm in a situation where I'm so mad right now that I want to call somebody and cuss them out. Please talk me out of it. Tell me why that's not going to work. I need to hear that. I understand this. I'm a smart man, but I need you to explain to me why this isn't going to work. And she explains it so well. And by the time we get off the phone, I feel better. I'm calmed down, and I know how to handle situations in a better way. Why is that important? Why is that important? Well, one thing I learned about business, and you guys know that's what I do. That's what my PhD's in. It's in finance. I'm a business school professor. One thing I learned is that conflict will leave you broke. Conflict will make you incredibly unproductive. Constant conflict will leave you drained. It will leave you so drained that you can't accomplish nothing. You can't build nothing. You know, it's like trying to build a house and you're setting the house on fire every day of the week. Like, if you set the house on fire, you're not going to build a house. It's going to burn down. And so then you're going to start all over again, because you just started building something, then you burned it down, then you start something else and you burn it down, and you can't do that. You can't do it. And the other thing too is that, you know, the energy that's around you, the people that are in that space have to match that energy. So I started really reflecting, you know, on the types of energy I allowed into my space. You know, I started reflecting on the types of people that I would do business with. And I pay very close attention to what kind of energy you're bringing into that space. And if you're bringing the wrong energy, I learned that, okay, that's something I have to distance myself from, but not even distance myself, but remove you from the circle, because that mentality can become an infection amongst the entire group. It can ruin relationships. It can cause people that you were cool with to suddenly start fighting. It's just something. It's just not good, right? So anyway, you know, I think I figured this out. I figured out that one of your keys to success, one of the things that I'm going to give you today that I want you to kind of walk away with, because y'all know me, I don't really talk to you unless I'm talking to you about something that means something. I want substance. I don't want me just hemming and hawing and just, you know, talking shit and just running my mouth and just talking just to be talking or trying to be cool. I ain't trying to be cool. I'm trying to be correct, right? I'm trying to be helpful. I want you to win. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a black person, most of y'all in here are fucked up people. Most of y'all in here are half crazy. Most of us, all of us, have significant mental health issues. And what I'm just here to say to you is that in order for you to be successful in life, in order for you to win, in order for you to prosper, I encourage you to get into your shit, to dig into your shit. Before you can be the shit, you must confront your shit, right? And we all got shit. If you got shit, then please go ahead and share it in the chat. Like, we all got our shit. So in order for you to be the shit, you got to confront your shit, or you're going to be in the middle of shit your whole damn life. You're going to have a shitty life because you're going to always be in shit because you never confronted your shit. People who are the shit are usually people who dealt with their shit. Okay. So, with that said, let me give you some quick tips on dealing with negative people. Some of y'all are trying to build businesses. Some of y'all are trying to raise your kids different. Some of y'all are trying to do better when you're in your life. Some of y'all are trying to, put a past life behind you. Some of y'all are trying to just change your habits and your thinking on a daily basis. And you got people around you that don't get it, that speak negatively on it, are always bringing you down, never providing encouragement, trying to get in the way, trying to pick fights with you, whatever it is. And so there's an art to kind of dealing with that. And I'm going to give you some thoughts on how you can process that. Do me a favor before we do that. If you could, real quick, please hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate that. That really helps the channel. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit that notification bell. Also, if you want to support the growth of intelligent Black media, feel free to join our tribe of intelligent Black people at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Feel free to become a patron there. So hit the thumbs up button real quick if you could do that. All right. So let me read some of this to you. This is from entrepreneur.com, Entrepreneur Magazine, about negative people. It says how to deal with negative people who just aren't going away. So this author named Deep Patel, he's a Indian entrepreneur, but it's good advice. So I'm just going to read it to you. He says a few tips on dealing with negative people, because some of y'all might be married to a negative person, got negative siblings, maybe negative parents, whatever. The first thing he says is don't buy into their negativity. Do not allow yourself to become infected with toxic negativity. Do not engage in a difficult person's habitual skepticism. Whatever you do, do not stoop to their level. Maintain your emotional distance. See, that not stooping to their level is important because a lot of us as Black people, give me a yes or no if you know what I'm talking about. A lot of us as Black people, we think that, the way we prove ourselves or prove that we hard or gangster or tough is we're like, oh, I'll get down and dirty with that motherfucker. I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. Like women, like, I'm from the hood, bitch. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you looking stupid, you looking crazy, oh yeah, I'll fuck a nigga up, man. I see grown men acting like this. I see 50-year-old men acting like teenagers because they want to prove that they can keep it real. Like I'm about it. Like, nah, man. I mean, I'm gonna be gangster in a whole different way. Like I'm intellectually gangster. Like to me, gangsters move in silence. Like I'm thinking about the mafia boss who's at the top of the ladder, who's giving orders. I'm not the guy who's in here trying to go scrap with you on every little issue or whatever, right? So honestly, and I learned this from my dad. My dad's a very tough, very smart man, very strategic. And I just kind of learned, like, no, there's a lot of ways to be tough. There's a lot of ways to be gangster. Sometimes the most gangster thing you can do is walk away. Let me tell you a story, actually. This is interesting. I saw this one happen one time. This is real, literally legit gangster shit. It was there was this mafia boss who had this young guy that he mentored. He loved this young guy. And but the young guy was pissed off about something. He was going off and yell, he would yell at him or whatever in public in front of everybody. And the boss would just kind of let it go because he loved the kid, right? He wanted to see the kid. He wanted to see him do well, but he was like, okay, calm down. Let's talk about it. Blah, blah, blah. And then one day he just gets up and he like the kid just goes off on him. He's like, no, we need to do something about such and such. We need to go kill him. Blah, blah, blah. And then he pushes the boss. He pushes the mob boss right in front of everybody. And at that moment, the boss just paused and he was like, and he didn't say another word. He just nodded and he just walked away. He just literally walked away. And at that moment, everybody knew, oh my God, he's dead. There's no way now this can end without him being killed. And let me tell you what happened. Let's tell you about life and about friendships, how you got to be careful just in general. So the guy knew he was going to get killed. He knew the boss was going to come get him. So what he did was he hid out in his apartment. He didn't come out of his house for anything. He didn't answer the door for anybody. He didn't know. He was very, very careful because he knew they were coming to get him. So one day, his three best friends, like one of his best friends from childhood, one guy was his cousin, another one was his other homie that he'd known since he was little. They knocked on the door and they were like, hey, man, come on, let us in. And so he let them in because he knew those guys since he was little. And one of them was actually in his own family. And he came in and they said, hey, you got anything to drink? And he said, yeah, I'll get you some water out of the fridge. They went to the fridge to get some water. They shot him in the back of the head. He was dead. Right. So it kind of tells you two things. One, like, do you really have friends in this world? I don't know. I don't know if you really ever have friends. I mean, a lot of people, you think your friends aren't your friends. But then two, it kind of showed that, people that tend to be most powerful tend to be most strategic, right? The more you act like an animal, the more predictable you are in your behavior, and the easier you are to take out. Anybody can take out an animal. It's hard to take out a smart man or a smart woman, right? So ultimately, what I would say to you is that there's a lot of ways to be strong, but even in that situation, that's not. I don't know if that's is how you might define strength, but I think sometimes strength is also exhibited by the ability to walk away, the ability to rise above something. Because a lot of times the reason you feel the need to sink into nonsense is because you don't think highly enough of yourself to believe that you have that ability or that right to rise above it, right? So a lot of times I think that sort of figuring out and deciding in advance what you consider to be on your level and what you consider not to be on your level, I think is really, really important, because you don't want to go down to a lower level because you feel like you've got to kind of respond to somebody's negative energy. Okay, so the next thing, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. All right, so one thing he says, nor should you try to bright side everything. Trying to convince someone to stop being negative may only challenge them to amp up their hostility. So a lot of people, one thing about negativity that I learned is that negativity really, the negative person thinks it's coming from the outside when really it's coming from the inside. Really, there's literally a dark energy burning inside of them that is constantly sending out solar flares to the world, like negative, nasty solar flares, right? But they'll always tell you, well, no, the only reason I'm mad is because that motherfucker did that to me, or this motherfucker over here taking my money, or this nigga over here did this, right? Like that's kind of what a negative person will do. When really, if you watch them consistently, you'll see that they're consistently negative, consistently mad about something every day of the week. They're always down about something. They're always feeling, tragically bad about whatever. And so one thing that he says here is that a difficult person is probably locked into a mindset that is part of the fabric of his or her personality. Negative people often have a demanding nature and put pressure on those close to them. They want others to love and respect them, to quote, be there for them, yet they are incapable of offering emotional support to others. Limit your expectations when dealing with them. A negative person isn't a good choice to turn to when you're feeling down. When you do engage with them, use non-committal language. Acknowledge their comments without endorsing what they're saying. Agree with them as far as you can. Then rephrase their comments using less loaded language. Okay, so here's the number 2. He says, you are not their problem solver. It is not your job. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through this where you have somebody that's always got a problem. They're always negative. They're always down because they've always got an issue. Like I had a friend once where every time I would call him, every time, without fail, every time I call him, I'd say, hey, man, how you doing? He'd be like, I'm doing all right. Right? So when somebody answers the phone like that, you're like, okay, what's going on? You all right? What's happening, right? But the problem was I realized every time I called, and then he would tell me some long drawn out story, and me being a friend, like a loyal friend, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I can help. Let me see what I can do. And usually me helping came down to like money. It was like he needed money for something or whatever, right? And it was never his fault. And then I got to the point where I was like, damn, like every time I call him, he's always like down. Like the answer, when I call him, it's never like, hey man, how you doing today? Oh man, I'm great. Today's a good day, man. Like that's not like, usually people are steady state. They have a steady state. This is actually a statistical term. There's in statistics, I forgot what they called this, dynamic optimization or some type of mathematics. I haven't taken a class in a long time, but there was something basically what they called a steady state equilibrium. I remember that term, where literally you have things that are just kind of specific to that situation or specific to that day, but then you have kind of the norm, the average, right? Like, so for example, a person who is high achieving, their consistent steady state is that whatever they're doing, they're going to overcome the obstacle, right? Because they're a high achiever, right? Whatever they approach, they're going to approach it, in a certain way. Or somebody who loves math, they tend to think analytically about everything all the time. That's their steady state. Or somebody who's always emotional and volatile, they're always in a steady state of emotional volatility and emotional chaos, right? So basically, you got to look at a person's steady state. Like, what is their average personality like? What are they like on a typical day, most of the time, in most average situations, right? Like what are they typically going to come at you with in terms of energy? And that will determine how you want them in your life, right? So for example, let me give you an example. Y'all know I'm marrying this beautiful black woman on July 11th, 2020. Everybody's invited. We're going to have 1,600 people there at the wedding. The church is very, very big in the south side of Chicago because I want to be near my people. So it's wide open invitation. I will put an Eventbrite up and you can come for free. I'm going to remind you guys of this repeatedly just in case, just make sure everybody knows this. And anyway, So you know, the reason I'm marrying that woman and the reason I love her is because her average mental state is very positive, right? So you bring her something negative, she's very positive. You know, you come to her with something positive, she's going to be even more positive. You come and you ask her, "What's the weather like?" She'll be smiling about it. She'll say, "Oh, it's beautiful outside," or she'll say, "Oh, it rained outside, but I'm just gonna stay in the house today," right? And it comes with a smile, comes with like a more positive type of energy. The trajectory is typically positive, right? So ultimately, you know, when you talk about which people you want to have in your space, look at their average personality, because that's going to shape what you're going to get most days of the week. Okay. So anyway, let me see here. And you can't ask the negative person about these things, because most people I've noticed that have emotional challenges are not very self-reflective. Like they can't tell you about themselves. They can't tell you why they feel this way or why they behave this way. They're going to basically kind of usually deflect, usually say that the reason I'm feeling this way, it's a one-off. I'm only feeling this way today because of this thing that happened, but tomorrow it'll be something else. The next day it'll be something else. Okay, so let me see here. Um, okay, I was looking at, I saw a comment or two here I was going to respond to, but it looks like the troll's gone. All right, so let's see. It's not your job to make an unhappy person happy. I think that's important to understand, because a lot of you enter into relationships with people that are chronically depressed, chronically negative, and you feel like it's your job to make them happy. And then the way they make it worse is they make you feel like the reason they're not happy is because of you and because of something you did. And whatever it is that you did last time, now it's something new. It's always something new that you did. That's a type of abuse. Like a lot of you ladies, I have probably gone through this with men that are just, you know, super depressed and just going through it every day. And every day he's barking at you because you're not making him happy. And the reason I say the ladies is because the ladies tend to be the ones who go overboard to say, well, it's my fault. Like, what did I do wrong? What can I do different? What, maybe I can cook his favorite food. Maybe I can give him some more ass. Maybe I can, you know, stop talking to him about blah, 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 right? Or stop asking him for money. And then at the end of the day that, you know, you realize like, wait a minute, like this motherfucker is always going to be negative. He's always mad. He's always upset. It's always somebody else's fault, right? But the thing is, it can happen to men as well. You know, men have you've heard that term, Captain Save-A-Ho, right? Has anybody ever heard that term before from E40, Captain Save-A-Ho? Like usually men are the ones who are responsible for the good men. I'm talking about the good men in the room. You know, you get caught in that Captain Save-A-Ho complex. But then again, some of the ladies are saving hoes now too. Like you got men, you got male hoes out here that are trying to get saved. But anyway, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like you get this woman who's always a damsel in distress. She's always got a problem. Something is always wrong. She always needs your help. And because you feel this need to help out, like then that was actually a weakness I had. Like I like to be helpful. Like I was helpful to my mother. That was nice. So I like to be helpful to my woman. But then I realized like shit, some people are an emotional black hole. Like you'll be helping that motherfucker until the day you die. And then after you dead, they'll just find somebody else to go and pander to, right? So what I learned is that it's okay to be a helpful person. I like being a helpful person. I'm very helpful to my woman. I'm always going to be helpful because that's who I am. But I learned to be helpful to people who can also help themselves. So I help the